that? Ugh.
The man you just got done watching in that video do whatever that was.
Boo! Weird.
Goes by the name of The Higher Ideal on Instagram, but for the sake of this video, we'll just call him by his regular name, Ryan. What brought him up on my radar originally was this post made by Tom Deblass that stated the following: "Your way doesn't work, peaceful folks. Talking it out with bullies doesn't work. It's time people start bullying the bullies. It's time everyone learns violence. It's time your children learn that waiting until the first punch is thrown is way too late. It's time to teach your children to devour anyone aggressively approaching their personal space. It's time the parents of bullies feel consequences. I have some things in mind. Amen." The description he left on that post said, "Wake up. People have been mean since the beginning of time, and bullies seek the weak." As you can tell by that post, Tom is very passionate about the subject of bullying. In comes Ryan with a response to Tom's post that stated the following: "People who recommend this approach have never actually been bullied. Talking it out with the bully does not work because you are still giving them your energy. Fighting them doesn't work because you are still giving them your attention. Hiding from them is inherently disempowered and is another way you feed their paradigm. This idea, be violent against bullies, is presented as if it's new, but it's the same plain advice that's been given all throughout history. What stops a bully? A withdrawal of your attention. You make what they say and do irrelevant, not by argument, but making the choice to consider anything they present to you as irrelevant information that can be ignored. The only reason what they say affects you is because part of you thinks they might be right about you, and you feed that emotion. This is advice from a bully, not from someone who overcame bullies. Chest beating on the internet to overpower your trolls and bullies only energizes them. Every bully or troll harasses you because they get your attention by doing so. They feed on it. So withdraw their food and they'll go elsewhere very quickly. No violence or speaking up for yourself required or even beneficial. I am harassed by trolls all the time and have been bullied my whole life. I have fought them, spoke to them, avoided them, but the only thing that got them to disappear quickly and not take up space in my emotions and mind is to make them irrelevant." A lot to unpack there. We'll get to dissecting all of this in a moment, but for now, let's check out Tom's response to that. "This just in. I'm being criticized by this ninja. This guy is criticizing my approach and standing up to bullies. His words are, the only people to take this approach were people who were never bullied themselves. You have no clue what kind of plan I'm rolling out that will be nationwide, partnering with hundreds of jiu-jitsu schools. Keep teaching your energy force field." Funny pal, not only was I bullied as a child, I was also molested. I know a little bit about pain and suffering. Keep selling this bullshit and you're only going to get more kids bullied. I'm sick and tired of fakes out there trying to grab a buck. I'd choose dust over this guy. Then he tags me and Ryan. There's a lot more to this as we continue, but the real question is, what actually started this conversation about bullying in the first place? Well, it all stemmed from this story.
The freshman was hit in the face with a full 20-ounce water bottle 3 times. On the video, punched and kicked, her hair pulled at school while classmates laughed and recorded the attack.
A story like that is powerful, and it touches a nerve with a lot of people, myself included, who was bullied relentlessly as a child. So now here we are, 2 completely different points of view. Tom's is to stand up against bullies, Ryan's is to ignore them. I figured since I was tagged in that post and so was Ryan, I'd reach out to Ryan and dig a little deeper onto his thoughts about bullying. He told me the following: 99% of kids who are bullied, their mother was abused or emotionally bullied while she was pregnant with them. Those kids develop in an environment, mother's body and her experiences, where that is their baseline. That is normal. It becomes the template for the dynamics that they are meant to learn from and emotionally change. Unfortunately, this means many kids get bullied, some more harshly than others. Some people turn to martial arts wanting to be strong, so they're never bullied again. But many of these fighters find themselves with battle after battle to fight, whether it's physical in a bar or emotional in their relationships. Their martial strength didn't eliminate the fight at the root.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
99% of kids who were bullied had a mom who was bullied or abused while they were in the womb. I got a stat for you, probably more accurate. 99% of statistics are made up. This guy's a self-help guru who's selling a course online for $4,400, but he can't even take his own advice. Apparently, after Tom made his post about Ryan's response to him, a lot of people went from Tom's page to Ryan's page and started giving him a bit of a hard time. Probably because of the crazy voodoo energy magic stuff, but I'm just guessing. So Ryan couldn't help himself apparently and made a post making fun of those people. I guess ignoring people wasn't a part of his $4,400 course. Another thing I found odd was a post he shared on his Instagram account about Conor McGregor's broken leg, which stated the following: "Let's talk about the energetics that causes this type of injury. Before the fight, Conor made death threats to his competitor. So you might just think it's karma, but it's not. We need to examine the subtext of someone who feels the need to threaten his competitor in order to feel powerful. Someone who needs to declare power over their competition actually feels powerless. Someone who trains UFC like he does likely has areas of his life where he's trying to overcome powerlessness by force, trying to find a demonstration of power to overcome his belief in his own powerlessness. A person who feels powerless is likely to try to escape this feeling as undesirable. In this way, he runs from his feeling of powerlessness. His soul is calling him to integrate and reframe this belief about himself, and he is refusing to do so. So the universe slowed him down and made him feel even more powerless by breaking his leg. But why his leg and not another body part? There are important secondary energy centers on the foot and knee. Between the two are complex energy lines and other reflex zones. The outside of the ankle is the zone of imagination. When energy is imbalanced in this region, you'll have too much imagination and not enough aggression, or too much aggression and not enough imagination, depending on which side of the ankle is taking weight. In Conor's case, he had far too much aggression and no imagination. Wow.
Psycho talk.
First of all, Conor doesn't train UFC. No one trains UFC. Secondly, the universe's energy did not cause Conor McGregor's leg to break. So let me wrap my mind around this. This guy believes that without touching someone, you can push and pull them with just your energy alone. He believes that Conor McGregor's leg broke because of some kind of magical energy and not the fact that Conor McGregor kicked something really hard. And he believes that you should just ignore bullies even though he himself cannot take his own advice, is charging people $4,400 online for a self-help course. I think I'll pass on the expensive self-help course, or really any advice this guy would probably give at all. This guy is speaking about bullying as if he's some type of an actual expert on the subject when he's literally doing nothing about it in the community. He's not helping children. He's not instilling any type of programs in schools. Let's see what Tom's doing about it.
Hello everybody, how are you? I told you I would be explaining what I plan to do with this anti-bullying, and bear with me, I'm going to explain to you a few things. Number one, this is a cause very near and dear to my heart. I was bullied as a child. I'm very open with my childhood. It's in my book. I've spoken about it a lot. I was molested as a child. I know what it feels like to be a kid who feels alone. And it's just horrible. One thing that I never understood was how other people's trauma could cause them to be bad people themselves. Now, some of these kids getting bullied, the stories that I hear, they're brutal. They're horrible. And nowadays, it's even worse, because social media is like it's never been before. The kids cannot get away from it. Kids are taking their own lives. They're committing suicide on a weekly basis around the country because of bullying, okay? They don't feel safe, and it's just a horrible thing, and nothing is being done about it. The school district only has so much power. Law enforcement, I guess they have other things to do. It's really hard right now to make a change for bullying when it's not always seen. So what I decided I'm going to do, what we're going to do, and I promise you it's going to change the world. Right now I have about over 100 people that I trust on board around the country, and I'll be taking in more and more, okay? Over the last 2 weeks, you saw that I got 2 little girls involved in martial arts training. I'm going to post more about the other one tomorrow. The little girl who got beat up on the bus by the boy, she's meeting up with their instructor this week. I'll post more about it. And then the little girl in Texas, I got in touch with her mother. I put her in touch with Brian Marvin, and that's history. She's training now. What we're going to do is I'm going to set up regional spots around the country where we have a representative of us. I got to develop a name still, where if parents cannot get anywhere with the district, if they cannot get anywhere with local law enforcement and they need help, they can call us. What we're going to do, we're going to get in touch with the closest jiu-jitsu academy that we believe in that's on board with us, and we're going to get this child training for 6 months. If the parents cannot afford the training, we're going to sponsor that child training for 6 months. All right, it will be free training for 6 months. Furthermore, we're going to develop a way where we could actually have contact and talk with the bully's parents in a very, very kind way, just to explain things, like an intervention. Hey, your child is bullying so-and-so. We're here on behalf of so-and-so. Could we please figure out a way to make this stop? We have a lot of support. Right now I have Navy SEALs. I have a guy in the CIA, Secret Service. I have a lot of Lift, Train, Ride. There are a bunch of X1 percenters. They're on board. I have detectives. Casey Long, my buddy in Ocean County, he's on board. Mo Jassim's on board. It's going to be huge. Dante Rivera, my teammate right in New Jersey, he's on board. We're going to change the world, and what we're going to do is we're going to grow and grow and grow. And there's always going to be an academy that we could link a bully child to. And that child will train. If money's an issue, we will sponsor that training for the child. The 2 kids this week, they're getting free training. Okay, they don't have to worry about coming out of pocket, because a lot of these parents, they're struggling tremendously. The one little girl who got beat up on the bus, the mother lost her job. They're in like a bad place financially, and we're helping them. We're helping these people because we have to help each other, because we all have these issues in life that we need help sometimes, and it's our job to do so. All right, so stay tuned. This is going into effect. I'm having hundreds and hundreds of people reaching out to me. What I am going to need is people in each area around the country that want to be a part of this. Okay, and I certainly can't talk to everybody around the country, so I'm going to need people where if someone reaches out, they get sent to this place. If you reach out to me, you're in Virginia, okay, you get sent to Sean Stoopman, my seminar in Virginia. My affiliate in Virginia, and he's going to take care of you. He's going to get you to the right spot. All right, if you reach out to me and you're in, wherever it may be, I'm going to have somebody there that could guide you to the nearest martial arts academy. And then, if need be, we're going to talk to the parents of the bully. We're going to intervene. We're going to try to come to an agreement and help people understand that this is not the way, And we are going to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. I've personally spoken to a few bullies' parents more than once, and never violent, never threatening, just very kindly. A lot of times communication is lost, and a lot of times these parents don't even know that their child is bullying somebody because the school districts aren't telling them. All right, so we are going to be the ones to wake people up. I hope to have you on board with me. I'm making an Instagram page about it. More and more is going to be done with it, and it's going to be good. All right, much love to everybody. Let's keep changing the world.
So on one side, we have someone like Ryan, who doesn't appear to be doing absolutely anything to help kids bullied in his area and is charging people over $4,400 for self-help classes online. And on the other, we have someone like Tom, who's extremely emotional and passionate about what he's saying in terms of bullying, and actually doing something about it and going out into the community, instilling programs and helping kids get an outlet so they can stop being picked on and beat up. I'm going to give you my opinion about bullying. I was picked on, beat up, and bullied relentlessly throughout school. The moment all of that stopped was the moment I started martial arts. I learned how to stand up for myself. I stopped hiding the scars on my face, and I started being proud of who I was. I was a part of a community now. I was a part of a group that accepted me for who I was. They didn't give a damn about the scars on my face. They didn't care that I was picked on and wasn't popular in school. All they cared about was, am I able to help them, and are they able to help me get better at martial arts? We had a common goal. And without even being taught it, I started to realize that I was learning how to be more self-confident. Do you know what happens when you ignore a problem? The problem gets bigger. That's the same thing with absolutely any problem in the history of the world. So when it comes to Ryan's statement, do I think you should just ignore the bully? Absolutely not. That brings us to the question of the day. How do you think we should address bullying in our society? How do you think we can solve this issue? Make sure that you answer that question before you leave anything else in the comment section, so that way I know that you watched the entire video. I look forward to reading the comments in the comment sections below. Thank you all for the continued support of the page. Thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and yes, memberships. Keep the martial arts legit. Things just haven't